let's talk about painting white armour, YouTube, and hobby expectations. Playing Boarding Patrol games has been the most fun I've had in all of 9th edition. You can check out some of the battle reports we've done on the channel. These small-scale thematic battles are exactly the way I like to play 40k. I've been looking to expand my Sisters of Battle force for a while, and so when the new Boarding Patrol box came out, featuring Celestian Sacrosants, another squad of Battle Sisters, and more Repentier than you can shake a stick at, I knew I needed to order my box. So, the plan was to paint all the sisters in the box for this video. 27 models in a week, a whole army in 24 hours, all the usual kind of YouTube stuff that you are probably really used to. Don't get me wrong, I've made those kind of videos in the past and really enjoyed them. They also really helped to make a dent in the pile of shame. But for a variety of reasons, this time was a bit different. Let's talk about why. Due to other projects, the box sat around for a while before I finally managed to get around to building. A couple of hours after work, 27 constructed models, including the cherub, or as Meg calls them, the creepy babies. So far, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's talk model and colour choice. When I embarked on this project, I wanted to paint them in the white armour of the Order of the Sacred Rose for a couple of reasons. First, for a bit of a change and variety in my sister's army, and second, to demystify painting white armour, which so many people struggle with. The Sisters of Battle plastic refresh is one of the best things to come out of Games Workshop in the last few years. The models ooze character and have loads of little details to show their devotion to martial prowess and the worship of the God Emperor of mankind. But by the Emperor, these models are tiny. For any Imperial Guard, Tau, or basically anything non-Space Marines, this probably isn't a shock to you. But for me, it's been a while since I painted my sisters, and the precision required to apply paint to these models is so much higher than it is on my Primaris scale Blood Angels. I think that I've come up with a decent method for white armour. Base with Vallejo Sky Grey, then a 3-to-1 mix of Sky Grey and Cold White, and finally a 1-to-1 mix of those two colours, with pure Cold White available if needed for prominent edge highlights. It's effective, but by no means quick, and the tiny details on the models meant that I spent way longer painting the armour than I had expected. I painted up a test sister Repentier! I also decided it was time to adjust my expectations. At this stage, I knew that the skin tones on the Repentier would need to wait for another time and another video. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd be interested to see that. That meant I was left with 17 models in power armour to paint up, which, on a Wednesday evening, seemed reasonable. I painted up a test model for the scheme, including some jazzy reds for the lining and an interesting hatching for the exterior of the cloak. I also decided on some Blackstone Fortress style bases with eerie glossy black tiles and blue electric pulses to contrast the white armour. I've got some ideas on how to improve the base, but overall I'm happy with the scheme. Yet somehow all my painting time was gone. I'd decided consciously not to film the process on my test model, but I'd somehow spent 5 hours on this one model working out all the little bits and bobs. It's fine though, I thought. At least it's only... I didn't paint it all on Thursday. One day without painting and now everything seems impossibly tight. Saturday is the day I edit videos, so that means I'm calculating how many hours I can spend per model in order to get everything ready for a Saturday editing day. To be perfectly honest, I did get into a good flow state, painting all the black cloth with a cool technique of hatching with tiny scratchy lines to help break up the large flat black areas of the cloak. I opted for a purpley grey for a bit of visual interest too. Rather than pulling an all-nighter or doing a 24-hour painting marathon, which would have been the smart YouTube thing to do, I realised that 17 models was too many. How about just the Celestian Sacrosants and the Canoness? A leader and her bodyguard? That's a pretty good video. I painted the interior of the cloaks with a 1-to-1 mix of Cavalry Brown and Black. I then highlighted this with Cavalry Brown, and finally 1-to-1 Cavalry Brown and Dark Flesh applied as a scratchy highlight, just like I did on the exterior of the cloak. Okay, let's paint up the first one so I know what I have to do. Okay, shield, paint, gunmetal. Get distracted by gold parts, paint those with Vallejo brass. Paint more gold parts around the edge. Shade the silver with a black wash around the rivets. Nice, I like how those are standing out. Shade the gold near the edges with Reichland flesh shade. German grey for pipes and ribbing between the armour. There is not a small enough brush in the world to do this. Why do I have to make sub-assemblies? Just let me paint everything in one place. Okay, recover. The gold stuff around the neck is the worst. It's too small. Next time, I'm just going to leave it and pretend it's not there. Maybe I can just shade it? No, I hate that. A quick dab of water to remove black lines, and then a little bit of cleanup. Okay, next I've got to do the eyes. Please, hands, don't fail me now. Silver into the eyes, glaze over with transparent red. Whew, the eyes are actually the easy step on this model. More trim. There's fleur-de-lis symbols on the shoulder. Okay, I lied, the next stuff is bad, but these are the worst. How are you meant to shade these to look good? Stay calm, shade, clean up, follow the process. Paint the gloves, pouches, etc. with Rhinox hide and highlight with added dark sand. Lovely. Top it off with a purity seal, which is painted in my usual way. Done. I'm pretty pleased with the results I got on the base, with just some glossy cards stuck with super glue, a black prime, and then blue lines similar to what I did with my Dante video when painting his power axe. Clean this up and top it with gloss black, and the model is all done. Nice and quick, follow through the steps and wait, what do you mean that took me 2 hours? So all jokes aside, this model was super fun to paint, but the idea that I was going to be able to paint up 27 of them this week is pretty hilarious with hindsight now. Maybe in another week I might have managed it, and I did beat myself up about failing to meet my lofty goal at first. All in all, I painted up 3 models. The test model for the Repentia, the test model for the Battle Sisters, and then the one you've seen me painting on camera. In spite of only finishing 3 models, that's 3 models more than I had last week. It's more skills with hatching cloth, using gloss black to shade as it flows better, and getting to paint those cool Blackstone Fortress bases, which I'm really happy with. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this slight mess of a video, and in the meantime, if you want to buy more plastic soldiers than you could ever hope to paint in a single week, check out my Element Games affiliate links in the description down below for discounted hobby products where I get a kickback on anything you purchase at no additional cost to you. Subscribe if you did like this, leave me a comment with your hobby ups and downs. I look forward to reading and replying to them. In the meantime, my name has been Ollie, this has been my hobby, and I'll see you next time.